Good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst, I'm Azra San. Good evening, Joe.
Good evening, Azra. Very good evening to all our viewers. Well, we start off today with a look at the headlines.
Pujya Sundara granted bail by Fourth Magistrates Court. Gotabaya Rajapaksa files motion seeking permission to travel overseas. Railway trade unions continue to protest. Andhra Kumar Nayaka places bonds for the presidential election. Will the symbol of the flower bud be present at the presidential election?
On to our lead story now. The Department of Meteorology says thunder showers accompanied by severe lightning are likely to occur at several parts of the island. For a comprehensive update, we have Zenith joining us from Colombo. Zenith.
Good evening, Azra. I'm standing right opposite the floating market in Fort. Now, when compared with a few hours ago, the weather has improved. However, the Met Department has warned of heavy showers and strong winds across the island. Heavy showers of approximately 100 millimeters in several parts of the island, particularly in the western province. The Met Department has also warned of strong winds, especially towards the sea, the coastal belt of the island, and has urged the general public to be vigilant of the prevailing weather condition.
Accordingly, places in western, Sabragamur, central, Uva, northwestern and north central provinces and in the Mana, Vaunia and Mullaitivu districts will experience thunder showers during the evening hours. Issuing advisory on severe lightning, the Met Department said strong gusty winds up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour are also possible during the thunder showers. Heavy rains were experienced in the city of Colombo this evening.
With that weather forecast, we move on to more news this evening. Now, Inspector General of Police Pujya Sundara was arrested by the CID this morning and released on bail by the Fourth Magistrates Court this afternoon.
He is currently on compulsory leave following the April 21st attacks. Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said Pujya Sundara was arrested for threatening an elevator operator at police headquarters in 2017. The Fourth Magistrate highlighted interfering with the duties of any public officer is a serious offence and questioned how could action be taken against other senior officers interfering with the work of junior officers when a very senior officer such as Pujya Sundara makes threats to a junior officer. The CID said it showed Sundara's CCTV footage from the day of the incident when a statement was recorded from him and noted Sundara had accepted an incident took place and expressed his regret. Colombo Fourth Magistrate Ranga Nayaka ordered for Pujya Sundara to be released on a surety bail of 200,000 rupees and ordered for the matter to be taken up again on the 8th of January.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa filed a motion with the Permanent High Court trial at bar today, seeking permission to travel to Singapore for medical reasons from the 9th to the 12th of October. Now, the matter was postponed to Thursday for the Attorney General to announce his stance on Rajapaksa's request.
A case was filed with the Permanent High Court trial at bar against 7 defendants, including Gotabaya Rajapaksa, for alleged misappropriation of public funds for the construction of the D.A. Rajapaksa Memorial and Museum. However, the trial at the Permanent High Court trial at bar was temporarily suspended following an interim order issued by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, once again considering the Rajapaksa's appeal, today suspended the examination of witness statements until October 14th, and the appeal will be taken up for examination on the 11th of October. When the Supreme Court issued the order preventing the trial to proceed, the Permanent High Court trial at bar had already imposed an overseas travel ban on Gotabaya Rajapaksa and impounded his passport. Today, the counsel appearing on behalf of Rajapaksa requested court to release the passport as it is a necessary document to prove Sri Lankan citizenship because his client is to submit his nomination for the presidential election. The senior state counsel appearing for the Attorney General said, though there are no objections towards the request being made, the relevant reports on obtaining medical treatment have not been produced. He therefore requested the motion be called up on Thursday to announce the stance of the Attorney General in this regard. Another petition connected to presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa will be taken up for consideration at the Court of Appeal tomorrow. This is a petition filed by Professor Chandragupta Thenuara and Gamini Biangoda seeking a stay order on accepting Gotabaya Rajapaksa's Sri Lankan citizenship. The petition noted the dual citizenship document presented to Gotabaya Rajapaksa on the 21st of November 2005 is either illegal or fake. The petitioners requested for an order be issued to prevent Gotabaya Rajapaksa being accepted as a Sri Lankan citizen until the petition is taken up for examination and an order is delivered. The petitioners claim the dual citizenship certificate obtained by Rajapaksa had not fulfilled the legal requirements. Earlier, the petitioners filed a complaint with police headquarters on the matter, and thereafter the CID, conducting its investigations on a number of occasions, presented facts to court. A writ application was filed with the Court of Appeal along with copies of the B reports filed with court by the CID. The matter will be taken up in the presence of Court of Appeal President Justice Jasantha Kodagoda and Justices Arjuna Besekara and Mahinda Samewardana.
Will Gotabaya Rajapaksa's presidential candidacy be challenged? Journalists raised questions from several members of the SLPP in this regard today.
ඒක අපි සම්පූර්ණ විශ්වාසය අපේ නීතිඥ මහතුරු කෙරෙහි තියලා තියෙනවා. අධික නීතිඥ මහතුරු ලොකු විශ්වාසයක් තියෙනවා එතුමාගේ ගැටලු විසඳලා දෙයි කියලා.
ඕනෑම දේශපාලන ව්‍යාපාරයකට plan A, plan B කියලා සහ තව අවශ්‍ය නම් plan C කියලා එකකුත් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒවා අවශ්‍ය මොහොතේ ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න පුළුවන්.
නෑ අපිට විකල්පයක් ගැන කතා කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. මොකද ඒක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙවෙයි. කවුරුත් දෙකක් හෝ තුනක් ගැන කතා කරලා නැහැ. අපි කතා කරලා තියෙන්නේ ගෝඨාභය මහත්තයා ගැන පමණයි.
Now, the Economy Next, quoting sources close to the SLPP, reported that former Central Bank Governor Ajit Nivard Cabral was proposed as an alternative candidate for the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in case Gotabaya Rajapaksa is disqualified by courts.
The website reported several chief incumbents of Buddhist temples in Sri Lanka had proposed his name to former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. However, this morning the former CBSL governor in a post on Facebook said the presidential candidacy of Gotabaya Rajapaksa is not at risk of being denied for any reason whatsoever. He added the question of an alternative candidate does not arise and any speculation in that regard is completely unwarranted. Cabral posted he would be providing his fullest support towards Gotabaya Rajapaksa's victory.
Meanwhile, UPFA MP Bandula Gunawardena is to file legal action with the Supreme Court against former Central Bank Governor Arjuna Mahindran.
We will file an application with the Supreme Court to ascertain if the currency notes in circulation violate Article 165 of the Constitution. If Gotabaya Rajapaksa cannot contest the polls even after renouncing his US citizenship, what power did Arjuna Mahindran possess to sign the currency notes when he had not even renounced his citizenship in Singapore?
The Ministry of Justice, issuing a statement, said that Chairman of National Authority for the Protection of Victims of Crime and Witnesses, Suhada Gamlat, has informed the Presidential Secretary that he will resign from his respective position.
The statement adds if he fails to resign from his position by tomorrow, the Secretary to the President will initiate necessary measures in this regard. Views were expressed regarding this matter during a media briefing today. He made this statement as the chairman of Sri Lanka's National Authority for the Protection of Witnesses and Victims. He was appointed to this position by Minister Vijayadasa Rajapaksa. State officials cannot make such statements. I made a request to the President. Suhada Gamlat had informed the Secretary to the President that he is in the process of tendering his resignation. The Presidential Secretary will take necessary steps if he does not resign by tomorrow.
A decisive situation has arisen as to whether the SLPP and SLFP will contest the upcoming presidential election together. However, both parties expressed positive views in this regard today.
The Central Working Committee of the SLFP convened a meeting chaired by President Maithripala Sirisena last evening. The meeting lasted for more than 3 hours and concluded without reaching a final decision.
The Central Working Committee will meet again on the 5th of this month. The main matter discussed was the issue linked to the party symbol. We hope to receive a positive response from the SLPP in this regard in the coming days.
National organizer of the SLPP, Basil Rajapaksa, expressed the following views at the party headquarters today regarding the amendments to the party symbol.
නෑ ඒක සාකච්ඡාවලදී කරන්න ඕනේ කන්නේ. රට ආරක්ෂා කර ගැනීමට රට සුරක්ෂිත කර ගැනීමට රටේ ආරක්ෂාව තහවුරු කරන්න ගත හැකි ඕනම පියවරක් අපි ගන්න සූදානම්.
ඒක නමුතුමල කියන්නේ ඒතර මේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා පක්ෂයත් එක්ක සම්මානගත වීම සඳහා ලකුණක් වුණා වෙනස් කරන්න පුළුවන් නේද?
නෑ ඉතින් බැරි දෙයක් නෑනේ ඉතින් පුළුවන් දේවල් කරනවා.
Against such a backdrop, the SLFP submitted several documents to the SLPP today regarding agreements between both parties.
We have presented many amendments and hope to submit them to the SLPP today. We also discussed in depth regarding another agreement between the SLFP and the SLPP. We hope to present this to the SLPP today. We have expressed our maximum regarding this matter. The rest lies with the SLPP.
The SLFP also responded to the invitation extended by the UNP.
We have no problem in holding discussions. However, the point is whether we will join and form an alliance after discussions. Now that's the issue we face. So far, we only held discussions with the SLPP and not with any other party. If there is any party that aligns with our principles and policies, it is the SLPP.
There is much discussion about the plans of the alliance led by the United National Party to contest the upcoming presidential election under the symbol of a swan. Now, who does the swan symbol belong to?
Cabinet approval has been granted to amend and pay a bonus of 15,000 in general for officials of Sri Lanka Administrative Services irrelevant of their service period. Now, bonuses were previously paid according to their service period starting from 3,000 rupees to 15,000 rupees. Department of Government Information said that cabinet approval has been given to compile a suitable salary structure and provide a closed service for teaching service in order to distribute a fair salary level for teacher principal services. Now, to make the railway service a closed service and to introduce a suitable salary structure, several recommendations which were given by the Cabinet Subcommittee received the approval from the Cabinet. Now, in order to investigate on steps that can be taken by the government for ongoing trade union actions in the public sector, a subcommittee was appointed to lead by the chairmanship of the Minister of Finance at the special cabinet meeting, which was held on the last 27th. Moving on, the railway service is likely to be made an essential service as the strike by railway workers continues to take its toll on commuters.
On day 6 of the strike action, only a limited number of trains were in operation. The weekday train from Kandy to Mathura only operated to Fort Colombo today. Train drivers, guards, station masters and supervisors entered trade union action citing salary anomalies. The trade unions said they would continue with the strike as talks with the cabinet-appointed subcommittee on solving the issues failed yesterday. Following the cabinet meeting, State Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Ashoka Abesinghe expressed the following views.
This is all politics. I say if they don't call off the strike action, I challenge them to continue, and we as a government are ready to face them because we provided them with solutions and even the cabinet approved them. They wanted to make this a closed service and we did that. We can't let them hinder the lives of the people like this. No, we can't do that because the country isn't operated under emergency regulations. The Gazette to make this an essential service has been prepared. When it's signed by the President, we will have a lot more steps to take. You don't know about those who lamented asking us not to make this an essential service. They are the ones who didn't want to make this an essential service.
The non-academic staff strike action, which is launched citing salary anomalies, is still ongoing.
The strike action was launched 22 days ago and the co-president of the University Trade Union Joint Committee spoke about solutions and actions. Finding a solution through officials for the disparity which is created by the National Salary Commission has been problematic. Therefore, solutions can only be found by the direct influence of the Cabinet of Ministers. We are expecting a solution for that. But by any chance, if we don't receive a solution for this coming Thursday, the streets of Colombo will be filled with people attached to universities. We will discuss with all trade unions. University trade unions will take measures to carry out a massive trade union action. Meanwhile, executive-level state sector employees are also on strike, citing salary anomalies. Joint Teachers Trade Union stated that they will launch a strike action from the 5th to 11th of this month. Government Medical Officers Union, convening a media briefing yesterday, stated that if prompt solutions are not provided, they too will launch a trade union action. Sajid Premadasa arrives there before Mahinda Rajapaksa did. He went there and said that their request is fair and he will discuss this with the cabinet on behalf of them and will get these requests granted. Then he will come back again. They didn't wait any longer. The actor of films arrived. Gotabaya is the film producer, Mahinda is the actor. He said that even if he can't grant it, at least Gotabaya will grant it and asked them to drink this glass of king coconut water. Those who said that they will not get up till their requests are granted stood up when the person who made them start this asked them to. These poor people do initiate these train strikes. President clearly stated it, and these people make our lives miserable even before they come into power.
In more news this evening, presidential candidate of the United National Party, Sajid Premadasa, responded to questions raised by journalists at a media briefing held today.
There is no issue in that. We must first win the presidential election before thinking about everything else. I think the cabinet of our opponents is going to be full of his family members. The challenge at hand is the presidential election.
පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ 225ම එකඟයි. ඉතින් සිද්ධියක් වෙනවා පිටකොටුව දිහා. අර රණවිරුවන්ගේ ඒ අයට යනවා අපේ ජනපති අපේක්ෂකතුමා උදේ වරුවේ පෙරවරුවේ ගිහිල්ලා කතා කරලා සැලසුම් හදලා මෙහෙම හිත සාකච්ඡා කරනවා කියලා ඔබතුමා එනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉන්නවා ඒක යකන්න. පස්වරුවේ යනවා අගමැති අපේක්ෂකයා ඊළඟාන. ඕක ගිහිල්ලා කතා කරනවා මෙහෙම දෙන්නම්. සමාවෙන්න. ඊළඟ ආණ්ඩුවේ කියන්නේ.
Although you said next government, you are talking about the other faction, not from my side. Mention his name without any fear. It was Mahinda Rajapaksa.
නෙවෙයි නම කියන්න බෑ නේද මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා. නෑ උතුමට නම කිව්වේ නැති ඉඳ මම කිව්වේ නෑ. මට නිකන් හිතුණා සුදු වෑන් එකේ හින්දා කිව්වේ නැති. කමක් නෑ කියන්න. නෑ අලු ඩිෆෙන්ඩර්ස් තියෙනවා. හොඳයි සර් අපි යන්න කියලා අප්පුඩි ගහලා පිටව ගියා. මොකද්ද මේ දෙවිදිහකට ක්‍රියාත්මක වුනේ ඒක? මින් බොහෝම බුද්ධි.
As an intelligent journalist, you are asking questions to which you know the answers for. The force behind these protests were highlighted when the second individual arrived at the location.
දෙවෙනි පාරට ආපු එක්කලන්ගේ ඔප්පුවනේ. ඔබතුමා කියන්නේ මේ හිටපු ජනාධිපති රාජපක්ෂ මහතා තමයි මේක මෙහෙයුවේ. අංශු මාත්‍රයක මොලේ කලඳක්වත් තියෙන පුද්ගලයෙකුට ඒක තේරෙනවා. ආයේ මොනවටද පුණුපුණා? මම ප්‍රතිවාදියා මත
I am not a politician who is focused on the opponent. No matter what the others do, I continue in my own journey of innocence. 22 million people of this country are watching what they are doing.
උකුසැසින් බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා එයා කරන වැඩ. ඔබතුමා කොයි විදිහටද ඉන්න අගමැතිවරයා තෝරාගන්නේ මේ
You ask this question every day, but you don't question our opponents in this manner. And if you did, your hands or other parts of your body would have been cut. People don't elect a prime minister or cabinet during a presidential election, do they? So there won't be a change for now. You and your channel heads constantly try to raise this question about conditions. Don't lie. From the day I was nominated, I clearly said that there aren't any conditions. I know that your job depends on the questions you raise. But if you fall into the unemployment category, I will get you a job.
අපි මේ පිළිබඳවත් අපේ අවධානය යොමු කරන්නට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ආමනේ ඔබතුමා විදිහේ හදපරුව ඍජුව ඔබතුමා දේශපාලනේ උත්තර දෙනවා මම දැකලා තියෙනවා. ඒකට පෙරපාදේ ආරක්ෂාව සහිතව තමයි පහර දුන්නේ. නාලිකා තරහ ගන්න අකමැතිද? මම දිනාගත්තෙත් ඔය ඔබතුමා කියන ක්‍රමයට මේ අපේක්ෂකත්වය රට දිනවන්නේත් ඒ ක්‍රමයට. නාලිකා තරහ කරගන්න ඕනේ සමහර නාලිකා ඉබේටම මන් දන්නේ මොන හේතුවක් නිසාද කියලා. මාත් ඔව් මොකද දන්නේ. ඔව්
Yes, some even send questions in writing. You can ask any question you want as long as you don't physically harm me. But none of you are strong enough to raise this type of questions from my friend. Those who raised these questions were the ones who were killed.
14 candidates have placed bonds for the presidential election thus far.
The National Elections Commission said they are from 10 accepted political parties and 4 independent candidates. Specialist Dr. Nihal Abesinghe, the Secretary General of the National People's Power, placed the bond today on behalf of the party's presidential candidate Anurakumara Dissanayake.
We will put forward Anurakumara Dissanayake as an independent candidate. Anurakumara Dissanayake is an MP and has experience of 18 years as a parliamentarian. Therefore, there is no legal impediment for him to contest the polls. No, the JVP is a stakeholder. It is a combination of 28 political parties. The JVP will be even more empowered and strengthened. We have presented Anurakumara Dissanayake as a strong alternative candidate against the policies of the UNP and the SLFP.
Moving on to more news this evening. Now, the cargo plane belonging to Western Global Airlines that arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport has departed to Ireland via Dubai. Newsfirst made several attempts to speak to a number of officials in this regard. However, no one was able to provide a clear explanation with regards to this.
The aircraft belonging to Western Global Airlines arrived in the country on several occasions. When Newsfirst made inquiries from the officials attached to the Civil Aviation Authority regarding the flight that arrived in the country during the weekend, their response was that the Director General and the Chairman are both overseas.
Not only American, there are many more. There were 6 military aircrafts that came here. This is normal. They land at the airport when they have long flights. This brings in foreign exchange. They take rest and then purchase oil. These are normal things. When it is an airport, what else do you expect to arrive there?
The attempts made by us to contact the Director General of Customs also proved futile. What was brought in the flight and what was taken back? These officials are dealing with the security of our motherland. We have learned a multitude of lessons from the April 21st attacks. Why are these officials concealing these facts that could possibly affect the security of our country, knowing very well the fate that befell IGP Pujit Jayasundara and Hemasiri Fernando? Allegations were raised against these two people for not being aware of the April 21st attacks and not taking action. Is it not the correct time for officials to learn lessons from past incidents and act prudently?
Former commander of the Sri Lanka Army, General Mahesh Senanayake, is also now a presidential candidate. Newsfirst Zulfiq Farzan spoke to him today.
General, let me start off by asking you, why did you decide to contest the polls?
I had to start my conversation as I don't have a dream of only Mahesh Senanayake becoming the president of this country. I am here taking the lead because this country needs a change of the system.
During the 52-day crisis that we experienced in Sri Lanka, some of the opinion, why can't General Mahesh Senanayake take over the country?
I'm representing the largest, I have been representing the largest human resource in the country, that is the Sri Lanka Army. That is a very professional organization. We never had, have and will have politics among us. We don't have a division among us, whether it is ethnical or religious. We have been a professional outfit. We are with all committed and loyal. Discipline. What is our strength? Discipline. That is the very reason we do not get involved anything against the existing constitution and the framework of democracy.
Or you are already the second Sri Lankan Army commander to contest the presidential election after Mr. Fonseca. Now, we saw what happened to Mr. Fonseca after the presidential elections back then. Aren't you afraid something like that might happen to you?
If I am afraid when I was 18 years a boy, I would have never joined the army for that matter. When I was commissioned, the war just started. So I continue to stay during the 30 years of war.
Now, General, after the Easter attacks in Sri Lanka, there were a lot of opinions being made. And right now, social media is a full buzz saying, how can an army commander who couldn't prevent the Easter attacks save the country? What is your thought on that?
Easter Sunday attack is one incident. There are so many things happened before that. Last 8-9 years. Armed forces are strong. I was also strong. But there are limitations in the legal framework that the army commander works. Until such time, the incident took place. We have been discussing, intelligence were passed down to the respective people who are the authority. Actions taken by them, delayed or no. That is what happened. So in that sense, it is not me or the armed forces for that matter who are responsible for this. Of course, at the end of the day, it's a collective responsibility for everyone. That is the collective responsibility, not in terms of individual. So that doesn't mean that I could not. We have taken our all actions to ensure that doesn't happen. But remember, when it happened, up to now, not even a balloon got blasted.
Now, General, on the same lines, there was a time when you were not in Sri Lanka. Now, that has been termed by your political opponents, since you're now in the political front, as you fled the country. Did you actually flee? Because I heard that you were employed.
Yes.
How true is that?
After 2010 elections, our commander, Field Marshal Fonseca, the best army commander we have ever produced in this country, the best soldier I have seen, he went on to politics on his own. That is his personal issue, nothing to do with me. But I was his subaltern. I was in his staff as the director plans. So the people who manipulated all these stories against Fonseca, when he was arrested, there was a list of people that they were carrying to ensure that they should also be arrested. So in that, there's a letter issued at the end of January 2010. 40 names are there with 5 major generals, including me. It says, service no longer required. Discussion between X and Y. The day that you see that letter, you will understand who is X and Y. They discussed and say, service no longer required for these 14 people, and they should go out, get out. And they are not allowed, they are being banned to come into any military establishments.
That was say that these 14 people were blacklisted.
Blacklisted. By the Ministry of Defense. We get instructions from Defense Ministry. Of course, there had been another letter parallel to that from the President House as well. But the letter comes directly, the orders, instructions, the advice come from the Ministry of Defense. You know who was there at that time? They sent us. I'm out. Then I got legal advice. They said, don't stay in this country. Not here to break or grab or steal votes of anyone. I am on my plan. My course is different. That is to change the system. I'm not being planted by any party, any organization. I'm volunteering with the intellectuals to get together and change the system. That's what I'm doing. Again, I have to say, I'm not a part of anybody.
Foreign Secretary Ravinatha Ariyasinghe, leader of the Sri Lankan delegation, addressed the 74th United Nations General Assembly yesterday.
It is clear that we have made substantial progress in achieving the SDGs. Yet, the end of the road is a long way off, with increasingly devastating impacts of climate change threatening to reverse these gains and impede our path to development. Given Sri Lanka's experience of the recent past in low and high-intensity conflicts with terrorist groups, few countries can qualitatively match the troops sent by Sri Lanka, who have extensive professional experience in all aspects of peacekeeping and providing humanitarian assistance. Each country has its unique post-conflict situation. While we can learn from others' experiences in charting our own path to reconciliation, we are committed to find innovative and pragmatic solutions to protect the country's national interest and well-being of all Sri Lankans, guided by the provisions of our Constitution.
Some news, more follows on our website www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Joel Outscoon.
And I'm Azra San. Take care and good night.
Good night.